Hub Online, and you're watching Studio Talk. I'm actually here right beside my husband tonight. I am with Daryl.
She actually is going to kick me under the table. We haven't done that for quite a while, so she's like going to kick me under the table because I'm going to interrupt her, maybe.
Maybe. I feel like we're going old school, like when we first began, but I'm so glad that you're here to join us. Tonight is a really special night for us. You may already know that we have launched, GMIHub has already launched or released our third Christmas compilation album, and it is GMIHub Family Christmas, which is available now at gmihub.bandcamp.com. And tonight we are so thrilled. We have some of the producers that were behind the songs that are on this album. And you know what? You've got to get this album. Now, I know it sounds biased for me, but you know what? The quality and this is the type of album that I visualize being by the fireplace in warm, comfy cozies and just listening to this music and just letting it, just soaking it in while the snow is falling outside. It's just a beautiful album that I think would just be a wonderful addition to the Christmas season, for your Christmas season. So feel free to go get it. Okay, that's my little plug right there. But
well, we also have our social media stuff.
That's true. We do.
I just want to do this.
If it's your first time with us on YouTube, definitely do that. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, because you're going to want to hear and know when we're going to be broadcasting. We usually try to do these on a Monday, so you'd want to know when we're doing our next online panel discussion. So definitely do that. You can also follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on what am I missing? Instagram. We're at GMIHub. Oh, and YouTube as well. I have that there. We're at GMIHub on Facebook and Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Industry Gospel, and we're also on TikTok. So definitely go and check us out there as well. If you want to know more about us as well, you can go to our website. We're at gmihub.ca. And you have the opportunity, the wonderful opportunity, to actually be a part of the community. Being part of the community allows us to celebrate with you as you celebrate with us the achievements that you have, whether it's releasing a song, whether it's doing a show or anything like that. You're part of an event. We want to celebrate with you. So definitely connect with us, join us, go to gmihub.ca, you hit the join us button, and that allows us to connect with you, you to connect with us, and begin a beautiful relationship. Okay, so anything you want to say? I've done all the talking so far.
I'm fine with that. They say guys don't speak as much.
Really?
Oh.
Really? Oh, wow.
Oh, here we go, flames. Boy, it's been a while since we've been together. On a show. So why don't you just continue on and introduce the panels for tonight?
Okay. Well, tonight we have got 4 producers that that are part of the album. They are behind the scenes behind the album. And you know what? I said this just off air, but I'm going to say it here on air, which is, you know what? It takes, like I said, there's beautiful music on there. And I really believe beautiful music comes together when there's a team involved. And you know what? As listeners, we usually just hear the vocals, we hear the instruments, but sometimes we don't really get to hear the producers themselves. So we're trying to highlight that tonight. So I am so thrilled to have with us 4 producers. Let's start with Stephen. Stephen's been on our program before. Stephen Lewis. He is the founder of Legacy House Music Studios. And now this is special, he's in Oshawa, Ontario, and he is the producer and songwriter for this beautiful song called Holy Christ is Born. Stephen, thank you so much for being a part of us, for joining us. Wonderful to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yay, we got you. We got your vocals.
Yeah.
It's tech talk. It's always the tech stuff, isn't it?
We also have with us Colin Ward. Colin Ward has also been on our program before. Colin is the founder of Waters Land Studios out in Burlington, Ontario. And he is the producer for the song Promise by Sally Campbell. Welcome, Colin.
Yep. And we'll turn on the microphone as we go too.
And we're gonna turn
Thank
on.
you. I figured out how to turn on the mic.
Awesome. Oh wow. Okay, now all the way. Now we've been in Ontario. Now we're gonna go halfway around the world. We have Alain Lee I'm gonna say your name wrong. I'm sorry. Godornes. Did I say that correct?
Godornes, yes.
Godornes.
Yes, pretty
Okay.
close. Godornes, yes.
Of Shelter Studios. Now, if you remember Mary Ozaraga, who was with us I think in May for our artist showcase, we jammed with Mary, and this is her producer. She has got a song on there called Beautiful Mess, and Elaine is a producer behind that song. So Elaine, I'm so glad that you were able to wake up at is it 8 o'clock there now?
Yeah, it is. Thanks for having me.
8 o'clock in the morning in the Philippines to be with us. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we're going to swing around the world again, back to Canada, to Calgary, where we have Odum Abekah with us. I am so glad we finally get to see you face to face, Odum. I see your name all the time. If you are familiar with FAC music, Odum is the producer behind that music. We've seen David Klopp, you've seen Michelle Peters. Those are some of the people from FAC music. Well, this is Odum. He's usually behind the scenes, but we got him to come out now. So thank you so much, Odum, for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, gentlemen, let's show all their faces.
Show all their faces.
Yeah,
Okay,
there
we
you
are.
go. So, gentlemen, I'm going to ask this question. Now, I know for Stephen what the obvious answer is, but I'd like to find out from each of you the extent of influence you've had on the songs. So, and the reason I'm asking that is because I've classified you all as producers, but sometimes as producers we take on either a producer kind of creative role, or we take on more of an engineer kind of role where we just do what we're told kind of thing. How much influence did you have on the songs that you were involved with? And let's start with Alain.
Okay.
I figure
For Mary's song, okay. I did all of the recording. I recorded all the instruments and the arrangement of the song. And basically what Mary sent me was a demo of her singing over an acoustic guitar. And we just do it over chat, actually, even though we live in the same city, we haven't met personally. She started making songs when COVID started, so we had to do it online. And arrange all the instruments.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
You just started writing 2.5 years ago? Or was she writing before and she connected with you?
I think it was close to that. So close to 2.5 years, if I remember it correctly. I think she mentioned that.
Wow, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll continue on. So she sent you the demo.
Sent me a demo and told me like how she wants the song to sound like, laid back, having a somber tone. She usually just does that, or when she wants it to be heavy, it's all just in chat. And then for this one, she specifically said that she wanted her dad to play sax. So I arranged the sax melody and have her dad like follow it. And I also help her sometimes with the harmonies and give melody suggestions. Then when I'm done with all the instruments, I send it to her to record vocals. She has her own setup. Then she sends them back for me to mix and master.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to jump ahead here to the next question just quickly with you. So how many times did you send stuff back and forth with Mary?
I lose count. We do like
it's bad, but it's a process that needs to happen multiple times.
Yeah, it does. She's also detail oriented, and I like that about her. And mostly the suggestions that she gives usually makes the song way better. As you said earlier, that team. It's always a good.
Team.
It's always a good team. Yeah, team.
That's awesome. How did she find you?
She contacted me through a local talent here in Cebu who released some songs which she liked the sound to, and yeah, we just started with there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we haven't met personally for 2 years.
Wow. Well, that's an awesome online team right there. Okay, so Colin, you're next in the alphabetical order. How much influence did you have on Sally's song Promise?
As far as the songwriting goes, that was all Sally's. She presented me with a finished product, and she's a way better songwriter than I am, so there wasn't really much I did at that end. And she also recorded herself the guitar and the lead vocals and some harmony vocals and piano. And then I didn't like her piano sound, so I replaced it. And I got my drummer to do a drum track for it. Then my wife played some more keyboards, and I threw in some samples for stuff and things like that. And going back and forth, I really focus on the artists getting what they want, like what they represent. So I would do something and send it to Sally. What do you think? Do you like this? Yes or no? And we probably went about maybe 6, 8 exchanges, something like that. Because it's not a real complicated song, and it's not a real complicated arrangement because she's essentially a folk singer, so it's not about the production. It's the whole thing is her and her guitar. And the one interesting thing that happened is she has a really good Washburn guitar, and she has an SM7B to record it. And I got that, and I did my usual putting compression and EQ, et cetera, et cetera. And then I decided to just take it off because it didn't make it any better the way she did it. So what you've got there is just her dry recording of her Washburn, because it's a really good guitar, and she's a really great guitarist too.
I know she's well known. Like I'm always impressed with her picking ability, right? Her way she does that.
Yeah, she's self-taught. She sort of has one thing that she has. She didn't. Nobody taught her how to pick, so she has this sort of weird pick arrangement. Apparently, I don't notice anything odd about it. She thinks it is. But it's the bottom line is it sounds good.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome. We're thrilled that that song's on there. Odum, you're next on the alphabetical list. How much influence did you have on FAC's music's He Has Made a Way?
I think I had a lot more influence than I first thought I did. We started, so the song was written, started by having a summer, just before summer, songwriting retreat at a Bible camp that's just outside of Calgary. And we ended up writing 2 songs there. One of them was He Has Made a Way. So it was written by a couple of our ministry team members. And then after they finished writing it, it was a group of 4 musicians here. And then I met with the principal songwriter, where the main ideas came from, and just got her to record a keyboard track to MIDI first, and then we met, just discussed what she would like to see in the production, the kinds of sounds and different things, and then I was able to get a little bit of a framework for how things should go from there. And then after that, I just kind of got to play, which was, it's very freeing, but also kind of scary because you want to make sure that you represent the song well. And I've taken what I've learned and just the kinds of words and things that the musicians say. So after that, I kind of took it on myself to add different things or at least facilitate. So I'm just trying to go through my session now. I got a friend to record drums. We recorded them at First Alliance Church. So we recorded those live. I played bass. I recorded the vocalists. So there's one lead vocalist and two background. We recorded them at FAC as well. And then a lot of the production was just based on samples and particularly from Splice, from other productions that I had done previously and then either manipulated or warped to put in place. Chose a different Wurlitzer sound for the keyboard, and then I composed some string lines, and we had just beautiful cellists come in and record them at FAC as well. That's what ended up, I think,
So you had a
turning into the final version.
So you have a mix of the live instruments as well as some, is it MIDI? Is that the right word?
MIDI sample.
MIDI sample. Cool.
So VSTs, a lot of audio samples that started out maybe one tempo in one different way, and then I would take and then either modify or edit to make it fit to this production.
Awesome. So see, now I asked that question. Now you know how valuable you are on that team, huh? And Stephen Lewis. Let's hear how much influence you had on the song When Christ Was Born.
All right. Hey, guys. It was 100% influence for me because it was a song that I wrote and produced. The actual lead singer is someone that I sleep with, my wife. So it's very easy for me to get her to do what needs to be done.
She has a beautiful voice.
She's a phenomenal singer. She's great in the studio. Basically, the way I do it is I track everything. I use Logic Pro for tracking my MIDI stuff, my drums, all the music stuff I do in Logic. I just find it a lot easier and a lot quicker to do. Once I finish that, then I transfer everything audio into Pro Tools. For me, I personally like working in Pro Tools for just audio stuff, recording. If I'm recording live drums or vocals, I use Pro Tools to record. I find it a lot easier, a lot more user friendly on the vocal end than on the audio end than Logic. So once I have all that down, then what I do is I send out everything to those who I want to be that I want to track live. So good. I think it's very, very convenient now these days, as opposed to booking rehearsal time, then booking studio time, going in and bringing the drummer has to set up all that kind. It's very tedious and it's very expensive. Now these days, as you know, there are a lot of musicians. They have their own setup at home, and I just go to those who know how to set up their drums, and it's a clean set. It sounds great, sounds crisp. So I went to a drummer. He normally tracks for me. He has the idea or the concept. The overall concept is like a little. It's a demo of them getting the idea of the song in their head. I do not force them to play exactly the shots that I do. I want them to be as creative as possible, because if they're creative on their end, I can come back and change what I need to change in order to enhance what they've done. So the drummer had used for that song, he had a Yamaha custom, used Sennheisers for toms, he used the SM57 for the snare. He had overheads, he had the Audio Technique 2020. And for his kick, inside he used the SM91 and the Shure Beta 52 outside. And it for me, as you can hear, it sounded really good. For the bass player used he has a nice 5-string Fender. He makes that thing sing. I went through his Fender into his floorboard with his gadgets, out there into, back then he had a Motu Traveler, and then into Cubase. Once again, his setup is nice and clean. Once they're done, they send it back to me. I import it in, mix, master. And the what I used for the vocals back then was I think I used this one. Nothing big. I think it's the same thing. Audio Technique, 2020. I think that's what I used back then. She sounded good. What I normally do is I blend my voice with hers. Because we know each other. The blend sounds just right. So yeah, that's basically what I did.
Wow. That should be a follow-up with you.
Follow up with me.
What?
Well, actually, before we start the next batch of questions, maybe we should do a quick little jump to a commercial break.
All right, let's do it.
So let's hit the commercial.
Hey Dale, guess what?
What?
Today is the day. Our GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 3 album is out.
That's right. So that means you have to go to GMIHub.bandcamp.com and download your album today.
Go get it.
Now. Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Right there.
Download your copy today at GMIHub.bandcamp.com.
November 27th at 6:30 p.m. Faith Gospel Tabernacle, featuring music by Andrew Martin, Cheryl Dewick, Dale Borland, Faith Amore, and Sally Campbell. See you there.
are back. If you're watching us for the first time, you're watching GMIHub Studio Talk. We are here with the producers that are behind the songs that are on the GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 3 album, which you've just heard. That is available on gmihub.bandcamp.com. Gentlemen, we're back to you.
Before we go to you, we need to make sure that people that are watching, why are they together? We had 5 producers coming on. The one guy just said he couldn't make it on at the last minute. So we're still side by side.
Side by side.
No, you don't want me singing. Okay, we'll continue on with the question. I'm going to ask you a question. We'll see if we can get a little controversy happening here. The microphone that should have been used or that you did use on your artist for vocals, because most of this is about the vocals. I know Sally's got with the guitar as well. Did you like the microphone? Do you wish they would have used a different microphone? And if it was, what did they use? What would you have wished that they used? I will start with Odum. And you need to turn your microphone on.
There we go. I knew this one was coming, so I was like, oh, shoot. I need to make sure I know. So it was mid-range Neumann,
Okay.
like that we used. I'm just trying to see here. One of the it was actually one of our handheld models. I was trying to figure out the.
Yes.
I've been trying to figure out what the model number is, but it's one of the older revisions, so the model number got scratched off, and I was like, oh no. But nice silver type chrome handheld mic that this past, I guess, year or so we've used a fair bit. So we're very much still starting to build our things up. As you see, I don't have a studio name, so no studio things.
FAC Music, there you
here.
go. You have a great big recording room. The church sanctuary.
Well, we don't record in a sanctuary. We found a spot that's great for our purposes right now, and been using it to record vocals, acoustic instruments. Yeah, but Neumann,
Okay,
like,
so, I was gonna ask, how are they holding on the hand? Do they have it on a stand with a shock mount, or or do you spend a lot of time in post dealing with them holding it?
So I've got it on a boom stand, pop filter, and then most of it is pretty good, just with those 2 applications, and then I'll go through with Isotope RX if I need to do anything surgical, or just anything like clicks, pops, breaths. So.
Right. Okay. I am going to jump to Alain to answer the same question. What microphone did Mary use? Did you like it? Did you wish you had a different one? And if it was, what would it be?
Okay, she used an MXL 770. It sounds good, but if we were to upgrade her sound, I would like her to use the Rode NT1. I think it would fit her voice. Yeah, give it warmth and cleaner highs.
Right. Now,
that's it for
is
me.
that
Yes.
what you have in your studio as well?
I used to have that in another studio. Right here at home, I have an MXL 550. Yeah. Yep. Most of my gear are with the other studio that's not operating right now.
Okay. That's fine. I love hearing the different varieties. We're going from Neumann to MXL. I know Colin alluded to Mary's earlier, so we'll jump on to Colin. I know you said what she was mainly using. What do you think? Did you like it? Do you think she should not, or if you could change it, what would you change it to? And you got to turn on your microphone.
Sally uses an SM7, I think, as you said, and I'm quite happy with that because that's the same mic that I use. In fact, that we also did some background vocals here at my studio, and we used an SM7 for that. And for about 90% of the vocals that I do here, an SM7 works well.
Okay, sounds good. And I'm going to go to Steven. I'm going to ask you the same question. You alluded to that you were using the Audio Technica 2020. What would you use?
Yeah, I believe I'm trying to remember whether I did use that on that. It was a while back since I produced that single, but I believe I used the Audio Technica. Seems to be. I mean, it the way we did it, it was almost like we didn't really plan to do the song. We had just finished my wife's record the same year, and we released it maybe 3 or so, maybe 3 or 4 months prior to that, and then coming in November, the song just came to me, and it wasn't like, we're really pushed. I think we got it all up and up. Like the first time, I wasn't really pushing for a an overall release like the way it's released through you guys. It was just like nice Christmas song. Everybody liked it. Didn't push it, and so it was just in my head, impromptu. Used what I had, and that basically was it. So yeah, that's what we have. But I I have the MXL
That looks like a
990 here. No, that's the MXL 990. Yeah, I picked that up, and I have some other like I'm using a Cam C3. You guys are listening to. I don't know if that sounds pretty good. And then and then you got those Focusrite condenser mics that come in the package. They seem to be okay. My preference would be Norman. Normally, where I record out, I've been recording out of this studio for over 18 years in Oakville. It's called Howl Studios, and when I'm there, he basically has everything that I need, like higher end mics, higher end preamps, everything that I need. So when I need to go that route, then I just head that way. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you ask the next question.
Challenges with the recording. Was there any challenges with the song, and if so, what were they and how were they resolved?
For this song, for me, I don't find any challenges. Once I lay it out, once I map it out, and have basically, I would say probably 60% of it done. The rest is very easy for me to just get the bass player, get the guitarist, get the drummer. If I need an organist, get the organist. Everyone has what I need at their house, right? My singer is just, outside there when I need her, So for me, it's just it just makes it easy that I can just either send you the file or bring some singers in, and we just do it out in the living room and track and record. So overall, there wasn't any challenges with this particular song. Now if we're talking like doing everything live, that's a different story.
Right.
That makes sense. That makes sense. How about with you, Alain? Were there any challenges? I know that you were going back and forth with Mary, like with recording
Yeah.
back and forth numerous times. Were there any challenges that came up through that like through that?
Yeah, basically the revisions are the easy part, and what's most challenging is like getting the song started, getting the general flow, the getting the proper emotion and the dynamics. And with my style, I prefer to do productions that basic almost nothing repeats, like nothing is copy and pasted. Everything has a different touch to it, the verse or the chorus, and yeah, selecting the proper instruments. And my productions rely heavily on emotion. And if a track does not get the right amount of emotion from me, it's never getting back to the client. With also her specifics as well.
Right.
So with that, were you listening in on a Zoom call and then getting off of that, or were you?
Oh, no, not really a Zoom call. So I make a draft. I make several drafts and just send it over Messenger, and she comments from there.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if you were like when she was cutting her tracks, if you were listening to her, even though you didn't hear the quality, just listening to her as she was doing it, so that you can make a comment whether it had the emotion, and then she would send you the file afterwards.
We basically she basically records it, just records it by herself, and then I'll listen to it and then comment on it, and then ask her to redo those vocal parts stuff.
So how many days did it take to do the vocals?
She records really well. She records really fast, like a couple hours. I give her a track, and in 2 hours she sends me like four vocal takes, 4 options, like that. And if I need something more, then I ask her. Yeah, sure.
Yes, you can.
So, do you communicate? Do you talk to her, or do you communicate via email and?
Most of the time it's just on chat. We rarely talk. Just chatting on Messenger, Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do my best. Yeah. Not like this, no.
Yeah. I have a relationship with a guitarist that way. To this day, I've never picked up the phone and called him. Everything is through a file or email. Right.
How long have you been working with him?
For about he's done 1, 2, maybe 3 records. It's been over 15 years.
Wow. That's way more amazing.
Now I know who he is by seeing, now that Facebook and social media is good. Now I see his face. Before I didn't see his face. I didn't see anything. I just got I got referred to him by another person who used him. And we've never, up to this day, we've never spoken. Everything was like, here's the file, you do you, tell me what it is, and then I would just email back, okay, this section, play this, play that. He'll switch it, bring it back.
Exactly.
And that was it. And I because I think it's just amazing how we can just communicate that way and not really, you know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's like kind of organic to see what he hears instead of me saying, do this, do that in his ears. He's just basically flowing organically with what I've sent him or what I've given him. So having that relationship with her, I think that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's how I work too. I prefer like to just record it, let the client listen to it, than rather having me explain everything in text or over the call. Exactly like what you said.
Yeah.
That is interesting. So, let's hear from Colin and Odum. Any challenges?
I guess the only challenge I had, am I on? Yes. Was I haven't done much work in folk songs. So getting to know the genre and the sounds that they like and things like that. I had to work through that and I had some, rejections like, no, we don't want to sound like Def Leppard. There's nothing. So, but,
And what's wrong with that?
well, if you're a female folk singer, I think there's an issue. But no, it was pretty good. Like I said, she's a good musician, and framed out the song, and she sort of said, "Well, I want drums on it," and that was about the only guideline she gave me. And then the rest of it was I would do something and send it to her, and she'd say yes or no, or I want this or I want that. And,
And then I guess that would be the next question for you, Odum.
Let's just see. I think for me, issues, if any, probably just scheduling. I think again for us at the beginning of this journey, we're trying to figure out how to work as a music ministry together for all parts of the process, whether that's songwriting, finishing, tracking, those things. So once we wrote our songs at the camp, and once He Has Made a Way was done, it was just trying to get that through. So probably just in the scheduling of it all, and then if anything, needing to get out of my own way a little bit, because once I have to kind of produce and then mix and finish editing the song, I can sometimes get a little too perfectionist about things, and it stops me from accomplishing what I need to. So yeah, I'd say just working through that and trying to just get a vision of the song that I believe honors what the songwriters were looking for, and that I feel proud of as a producer as well.
Can I pop in here for a second?
Yes, you can.
I'd like to join the club. I have never met Sally. We've done everything over Zoom call.
Really?
So, yeah, seriously, I've never met Sally. We've been working together, I think, for 2 years now.
Wow.
Oh, same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounded like you met her.
I guess because we have, so.
Well, we've met her,
Nice.
but yeah, I think I would go nuts if I actually wouldn't meet the person. So I gotta see the face. I want to talk with you. I want to communicate with you. I just that whole texting thing, that's to me so impersonal.
But it seems to be the new way of communicating. Like it sounds so. I know. Like I've been learning about this even with regards to just even just using social media. It's about being social more than being about a media. But yet we're so used to, because our backgrounds have been in media, using the media as media. It's a tool. But I did find it interesting as Stephen and Alain were talking, that it's actually almost more preferred to not have that personal connection, because it allows for the organic creativity to happen as they're working on a project. I've never heard that before, so I thought that was intriguing to learn that.
Yeah, it's the thought process behind it when you're working is so different to being it in person, because now you have to really dig deep in, like focus a lot deeper, because you're trying to create something that that they hear and what you interpret, and it has to mesh. So
Yeah.
the creativity part of things, not knowing or not figuring it out, is what makes it very, very, very interesting and intriguing to the mind of a producer, and and the way we think. So it's kind of like just a different level of, having the person in here, and doing the whole get to know you thing. Like, we still get to know the person, but it's just done in a different way. But it allows our minds to really expand and create a little bit differently.
Yeah, I agree with Stephen on that. I work at the local youth center that has a recording studio, and I like it with my studio, and we do it over Zoom or whatever, and then they go away and I figure it out without somebody over my shoulder. At the youth center,
Yes.
like, they're right on top of me, and I'm sorry, but not everything I try works the first time.
Mhm.
So a lot of it is,
Yeah.
oops.
Yeah.
But I agree. Stephen has a good point. It's you can still make a relationship over the phone, because you do have you have a certain fundamental thing that's in common with you, which is making it a good song. So that's
Right.
the good basis.
Right, and there are some artists that you wish it was over the phone.
And now the truth comes out.
I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to
just
comment.
saying.
And that's an in joke.
That
Funny.
you all know.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
But I go back to the fact of I've done it a few times where it's more on the video side, and I'm not like, I could sit there and coach them on how to do everything, but my whole thing is I'm more looking for, is this going to be passable for my client, whether it's the look of it or the sound of it, but me being able to make quick addresses now saves me a lot of time later on when I'm trying to figure out what they did and why they did, and I can go, hey, you know what? I like what you're doing. Go with it. I'll see you in a couple minutes, and I can come back and listen to what they're doing, going yes or no, or let's do a tweak now versus, an hour or two of redoing it, and then all the time in post trying to figure out what they did and assembling it. And I should have cut to myself. Okay.
Interesting.
Sorry, what was that?
No, I totally understand what you're saying, and I get it. Well, you're looking on the video end of things as well as the audio
I've done
end.
that even a little bit on the audio, where you can just zoom in or be on a Zoom. You're not worrying about the quality of the music, but you're wanting to hear what the person's doing, whether they're strumming or doing a solo or a lick or a slap, and it's like, or a hit on the drums or a fill. You're going, I don't like where that's going. Let's stop that now, and then we can let you go. Versus you doing the whole song and going, I just spent an hour recording this part that the guy doesn't like. Versus, hey, I can hear it. You're recording it with your gear. I know it's good. Let's steer where you're gonna go. Let the artist be the artist, though.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah, definitely.
Let the artist be the artist.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like stopping it because I heard something that you don't like kind of breaks up the monotony or the flow that they may, because you may hate this chorus, right? For me,
Right.
I may hate the chorus, but they're coming into a bridge and they're playing that bridge like it's just water, and that's because I didn't stop them from going into
Right.
the next part of the song. If that's how they track. right? So it's
And there's that. That's again understanding the way that artist works a little bit too, as a producer.
Yeah,
it sounds like a different way of collaboration.
True.
When we talk about, I mean, I'm sitting here and hearing on the tech side, but to me, this is what it sounds like. This is how producers collaborate with the songwriters and instrumentalists and so forth. Songwriters think of collaboration as getting fellow songwriters to sit down, and whoever's stronger on lyrics, or they say that there's someone who's probably stronger with lyrics, someone stronger with melody, someone stronger with arrangement, and yet they all come and collaborate and create this beautiful piece of music. From a producer side now, you allow for the creativity come, and it's almost like the opposite of what we learn with communication. It's almost, you got to make sure everyone understands what you want them to understand, and yet what I'm hearing is, no, communicate something, see what they come up with, and then let's grab that creativity and see if we can work with it and bring that in to the song and see how that can mix in. Maybe I'll add this and see what happens. It's almost like it's part of the, not melting pot, but kind of everyone's adding some different type of ingredient to the music stew, if you want to call it that. Just a different way.
There's a way that the producer thinks, and there's a way that the artist thinks. And what you have to do is you have to mesh those two. You have to mesh those two together to create a masterpiece, right? Yes. So if it's an artist, I'm listening to them. Okay, I like that. Next take, do this. Next take, do that. Next take, do this. And then you listen to all four, and that's what we're doing. We're basically splicing and dicing maybe 4 or 5 takes of the best thing that they've done in each section to make it one masterpiece.
I do the same thing, except with my drummer. Is that I say, well, listen to this song, do something like that, or I want it to, do the Purdy Shuffle or whatever, and he'll go off and do something and send it back to me. And if I like it, I send it to the artist, and it goes back and forth a few times. But I know for sure that he works better when I say I would like you to try this, and he's got a couple of days to work on it, as opposed to be sitting in the studio with the $ going around in circles.
Yeah, that's the reason why I made my own studio. It's a $.
There's 2 people.
Yeah. That is interesting. Well, for those of you who are
go ahead.
Absolutely. For those of you who are watching GMIHub Studio Talk, we are here with the producers, or some of the producers, from the songs that are on the GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 3 album that is out right now. Some great, beautiful music that will be a wonderful addition to the Christmas season, your Christmas season. And you will want to get a copy of that. It is available at gmihub.bandcamp.com. And we are so thrilled to have these producers with us. Now, Stephen is one of the producers, and he was about to say something, and I cut him off. So, Stephen, what were you going to say?
I would just want to say, this year, it's been a long time since I've done collaborations with other producers and other songwriters and singers. Normally when I'm producing, like, it's just me. I would write, I would arrange, I would do it all. How do you guys feel about, collaborations? Collaborating with other producers, or collaborating with other, like you said, like a full team? Because most of my journey has been like, I would say, almost solo. And I do have 2 other brothers that I worked with, and we kind of created we created a production company called 24K Music, and we've done a lot of stuff together. But it's just us three that just know how we just work. And if it's not them, it's just me alone. So what do you guys? What do you guys? I guess it's my. What's your preference? Let me just do that. Yeah. What's your preference? Alone
I would,
or with a team?
yeah, I would love to have somebody I could form a relationship with. I know, I think one other producer, but he's in heavy metal, and we don't, our paths cross, but not in music.
Not too much.
Yeah, because it's not fair for me to ask my wife if this is any good, because I'm not going to get the straightest answer that I need. I need somebody to say, no, that's rubbish. And go.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's because I don't know about you, but it's just, to me, it's amazing. When I go to bed, it sounds great. When I get up in the morning, it's awful.
Yes.
And
Oh my
I
gosh.
start over.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So having that third party that can give you some suggestions, just to help you work through, because we learn by making mistakes, for one thing, and it's nice to have somebody to point that out, and you can talk through, and why does this work and why doesn't it work, and and I've got my way of doing things. It's probably not the most efficient, but I can get my work done.
Yeah, for me, I've been like, the most collaboration I got was being in a band for over 10 years. And being in a band is like, you're all producers, and there certainly are a lot of conflicts and creative things that don't align. Yeah, but it's mostly fun. And for now, I enjoy the challenge of being like a sole producer for an entire track and just collaborating with an artist. So there's basically just two of you.
That's
have. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. I've been talking enough.
Okay. I have a lot of, I guess, different opinions. I would say it depends on the context. For myself, I work primarily alone on this production, but my biggest growth these past couple of years has been when I intentionally search out to collaborate with others, because I think there's always something to learn, or something really cool about, I think, opening up to different techniques or methodologies. And I have a friend from school that we collaborate on some pop projects, or if I do a one-off single, I'll produce with him. There are a couple people that I've met, and it's, I think, finding people that you're comfortable with and willing to stretch and go in different directions with really helps just expand what you know, so that when you're by yourself, it allows you to think and take things in different directions, at least for me. And it gives you different tools to try and different tricks that you may not have otherwise maybe not have thought of, or maybe wanted to try in the first place. So I think if you're able to find the situations where you're able to do both, find songs or situations, different occasions where you're able to exercise a bit of both, I think they feed really well into one another, and then you're able to be an asset in both spaces.
Yeah. I started my studio here principally for my band, and then I decided to open it up to third parties. So I prayed for clients to come in, and God sent me a Hindu and a Muslim, both females, into rapping.
Oh,
This is from a
that's
guy that
cool.
played in the blues. I played in a blues band. So, but I got to tell you, I spent about 3 years with him, 2.5, 3 years. I learned so much from them, just trying to figure out, because I'm used to, like, our lead singer in our band. She's a trained singer dancer, and I never bothered to check her tuning because you don't need to, and I know that she warms up on 2 takes and we keep the third one. But they would come up and it's like, why does this sound so awful? And then I'd have to figure out, okay, they're not singing in the pocket. Now I have to explain to them what the pocket is, and so, and I find that way now whenever I work with people, I just say, how much am I going to learn from this guy? Because they all bring their own set of unique problems that you have to fix usually.
I think to Stephen's question, it's like I hear the advantage of that. I hear the advantage of kind of letting, I won't say iron sharpens iron, but learning from one another. Kind of bouncing thoughts and ideas about a project and saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What would you do in this situation? Or we're kind of stuck here. The artist seems to want this, but I think it would sound better with that. What would you do in this situation? I don't know, Stephen, if that's what you were thinking of in terms of collaboration, but in my mind, I'm thinking that all of you have a different level of creativity, or yeah, you're all creative in and of yourselves. So definitely can learn and bounce off thoughts from ideas and just become that much more stronger in your individual crafts. That's what it sounds like. Am I wrong? I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
What I've learned this year in collaborating with, like, rappers, singers, poets, um, other musicians, just to understand how they think, because I'm old school, right? And a lot of these guys are like just fresh and young. Some guys like 16, 17. Those guys are like unbelievable in how creative they are. Like like collaborating with individuals from the teens to individuals in their 20s, their 30s, and the way and their 40s, and those, and the way they think, and figuring out, okay, how am I how do you create someone who as quick as a 17-year-old, the way they think, very fast, very quick, to someone uh like me, who I consider myself quick, but not as quick as them, but I have the wisdom. You guys, we have the wisdom. We have the years, right? So for me, it's like just sitting back, listening, hearing, and understanding. Okay, what can I do to contribute to this? And the fact that everybody's, in a sense, because of our history, because of the fact that we've been in this most of our lives, they're looking at you to say, hey, okay, what do you think? They're still learning from me. They still want to learn from me, right? But as I at Boomerang, it's like, I also want to learn from you. Like, how do you think? What are they thinking? What is this world really transitioning to musically, so that I could understand it and still be relevant, and still get calls
Yeah.
because I understand the relevancy of what's happening in the music industry. So, for me, it's opened my eyes, my mind, to say, you know what, it can all work. It's just understanding how how everyone operates in a room to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm almost tempted to find out if it's worth it to have a producers circle, I guess what would be called, like when producers get together and they can actually just bounce off ideas from one another.
Get 4 or 5 producers in, give them the same song, and see what each and every one would come up with.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Are you guys up for that?
Nope.
I'll give you. Yeah. I'll give you an example of like the writing sessions that I did. We're at the college. We had the entire college on a Saturday to ourselves, and we brought in. There was at least 35 to 40 different artists who are able to do different genres, and we just spread them out, and we just said just write. So there was a writing room for hip hop. There was a writing room for Afro beats. There was a writing room for gospel. There was a writing room. There was all R&B, and just walking in, and we broke them down into groups, right? So you'd have a producer, songwriter, musician, and some other people in the same room, and just me walking from one end of the college to the other was absolutely unbelievable. Like the music that was coming out of that college was phenomenal. I was like, man, I wish I tried doing this when I was a little bit younger to really. I did it maybe once or twice when I was younger, but most of the times it was just my 3 guys that were doing things. But having so many people in a room and hearing what was created was absolutely mind-blowing to me, which means I want to do it more, to get in a room with all you guys and see, hey, what are we going to come out with? No agenda, no nothing. You take a keyboard or whatever we need, a beat machine. And these days, everyone's running off a beat. They'll create a beat and they'll just go. I'm like, it's not normally how I do things. I'm like, okay, let me think of the chorus. Let me think of the verse. Let me think of it. Nope. It's 4 to 8 bar beat loop, and they're ready to go. That's new to me, but it was great. So I encourage you, if you have time, if you have the opportunity to do that, go ahead and do that. I'm telling you, it sharpens your mind, makes you think and understand how people view music these days in the younger generation, so that you can tap in and help along the way.
That's great advice. I know normally we do ask that one question, what advice would you give other producers and artists who would be in your situation, wanting to help an artist with their music, or even with artists that are looking for producers? What would any advice, any top of mind thoughts that come to mind to share with our viewing audience? Messages to producers.
It's so funny because I need to start considering myself a producer, because I think there are times when I still don't. And I would just say, I think be open to listening. Listen to as much as you can. I would say there's a good thing. I work as a residence director as well, and one of our mottos is listen to understand and not to reply. So I try and take that with music, and listening to whether it's a song or whether it's different parts of a production. When I'm taking it in, I try and take it through the lens of, do I understand what's going on? Do I really understand? Is it something that I can learn more about? Just to get into the brain, like the framework of it. And I think it's also important just to, be open to listening to any type of music, whether or not it's something that you personally enjoy or that it's that particularly resonates with you. Because I find something so beautiful out of every kind of expression of music, and it's just trying to figure out what you can learn from that, maybe to use in a genre that you feel that you resonate with or that you're trying to help other people with. But I think it comes from that root of understanding and being intentional with dialing into that.
Yeah, and you're right about cross genre. That's a thing now.
Yes, it is.
It's just not labeling yourself and putting yourself in one box. You get out of that, and well, it's like when anything I do, I use kick drum samples and I put an 808 in there, even if it's a blues song, because I like that sound. The first thing I learned when I started working with rappers is they'd look at me and say, "That's the wrong sound," which is I'm like, "Well, it's a snare drum." No, if it sounds like a snare drum, we don't want to hear it.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, it's fun out there.
Snap, the snap sound that they're looking.
Yeah.
And Alan, any thoughts that you'd like to share with our viewing audience? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, for me, like it's just two phrases that help me the most as I'm growing, and I keep telling myself right now, it's just keep learning and keep moving forward. That's it for me.
Keep listening, keep learning, keep moving forward. Awesome. Colin, any thoughts?
No, I sympathize with Alain because I don't consider myself a producer either. You know, I certainly don't have. For the people that are professional producers, I have nowhere near the talent or understanding of music and all the rest of that stuff. But I can learn.
Yes, as I say, you can connect with these guys, and it'll help you learn. Awesome.
Well, to me, that's the beauty of music. You know, we've all got the same 12 notes.
Yes.
And it's music theory is a black hole. I'm finding out. You know, as I'm trying to get out of my guitar player saying, "Yeah, that's really great. Same chords as last song you wrote." So
no, just continue to let the creative juices flow.
Yeah.
You know, continue to do that, and you'll always and try your best to understand what people are what they're listening to today, these days. To be honest, they're not really listening to music. That's just me.
Different conversation.
What is music?
That's a very different conversation these days. Yeah. Right now, I don't even know like the top 10 contemporary songs, or I don't know what they are. I'm not even talking about Christian. I'm just talking like overall. What's the world listening to? I really can't tell you.
Taylor Swift, Dua Lipa. Those are the two biggies. And then there's the whole YouTube hip hop, which I have no clue what's going on with that at all.
Right, but
well, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, it's been absolute. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that, you know, let's remember that you know, let's just create good music, memorable music music's that's gonna last a lifetime, not music that's gonna last a season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I concur with that one. I concur with that. Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor to have you all join us. I'm so glad you're able to share from the technical side what your involvement is with these great songs. And they are great songs. Again, I cannot emphasize any more than I think I can emphasize that these songs are beautiful songs. I'm so thankful for your talents and for your contributions in making these songs happen. I'm thankful that we kind of jumped on the part of the team in the sense by allowing them to be on our, or putting them on our compilation project, GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 3, and which is now out. It's available, and you can go to GMIHub.bandcamp.com to get a good listen of that song and even purchase that and let it be a part of your Christmas season. And as well, it doesn't stop, actually. It doesn't stop. We had the producers today, but next week or next couple of weeks, we're going to start letting you see the actual artists themselves and having them perform their songs. So,
well, not just the third one, but also the second one, and I believe the first one as well.
Yes, yes. So definitely you want to tune in the next couple of Mondays, because we're making it a Christmas focus. It's November right now while we're recording this, but it is coming up to Christmas, so why not? Let's celebrate it. So tune in with us next couple of Mondays. We are going to have the artists themselves performing these great songs that these producers were part of, and once you listen to them, you'll probably agree that these songs are top notch and songs that you're going to want to add to your library of music, whether you get them on Spotify or any other streaming system, or you just go to gmihub.bandcamp.com and get them. So again, we are Cheryl and Daryl, the hosts of GMI Hub Studio Talk. Thank you for joining us. If you want to continue following us, please like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and tune in. You'll be able to be reminded and tune in to every Monday when we're on live having these panel discussions. We have different conversations each week. Also, you can go to our website, gmihub.ca, where you can join us and we can connect with you. You know, be a part of our community, and let's just build. Let's just build and celebrate one another. That's what we're here for. And you also can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and TikTok. So if you want to know what's going on with us, we're available on all of those. And a new thing that we're doing is we are also developing a Spotify account where we will take your songs and put it on our playlist to help add to getting more plays for your songs. So if you want to know more about that, go to gmihub.ca, connect with us, and we can tell you a little bit more about that. But for now, we're going to get going. Thank you again, gentlemen. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Dale, guess what?
What?
Today is the day. Our GMI Hub Family Christmas Volume 3 album is out.
That's right. So you have to go to GMIHub.bandcamp.com and download your album today.
Go get it.
Now. Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Race that.
Download your copy today at GMIHub.bandcamp.com.
November 27th at 6:30 p.m. Faith Gospel Tabernacle, featuring music by Andrew Martin, Cheryl Dewick, Dale Borland, Faith Amore, Sally Campbell. See you there.